Well, good evening, everybody. This is Mike Tedesco of Wrestleview.com, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, here for Post-Raw number 55. If it's Monday night, you can be sure that it is, and if it's Monday night, especially in the fall, you can be sure that it's a 3-hour show that you can absolutely walk away feeling like you just wasted 3 hours of your life. Oh, yes. So I guess you can tell how I felt about Raw already. Well, I was kind of hoping for a good Raw, especially because, just make an announcement, I will not be, obviously, not on the air next week. We are due to give birth, or at least start the birthing process next Monday. So there will be no Wrestleview post Raw because we'll be, doing real life cool things, like having a little girl. Victoria will, at least not me personally, but Victoria will be doing that. So, and I don't know if I'll be on the week after, so just stay tuned for that. This show might be off for the next 2 weeks. It might only be off for a week. We shall see. My gut says it's probably going to be the next 2 shows I'm going to be off. So, look, obviously, you can't plan life, and it's a really great thing that's happening. We're having a beautiful little girl. But unfortunately, it also comes at a time when the draft is happening. There's a lot of exciting things to talk about with WWE. Tonight is not one of those nights, for sure. Tonight is not one of those nights. Last night was absolutely not one of those nights. Last night was a time for bemoaning the audacity of WWE and their just absolute inability to take a good character and not destroy it. We've seen it time after time after time again with this company. We'll talk about any residuals from that debacle of a Hell in a Cell event, because it was a debacle. It was a debacle without question. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat room real quick before I even get started. Initiator. Hey, Mike. Hey, Initiator. How are you? Secret Germs. If it's Monday night, then WWE peed all over your evening. Secret Germs. I like that. That's a good one. I should have let off with that. Billy Hefner, my dear friend. Billy Hefner's in the chat room tonight. Andrew Elder. Hi, Mike. Might be a good thing for you. I was actually. It's funny, Andrew. I was thinking about what you commented in the Hell in a Cell post show last night by saying that it might be good to take a break. You know what? Nature is giving me a break. Life is giving me a break with the birth of the baby. Obviously, like I said last night, wrestling, when I'm not talking about it, if I don't think about it, if it's not on, I honestly, if I'm not doing work on the website, I barely think about it. So it's not really a thing, that, is going to be good for me. It's just a good thing happening in my life. That's, and it'll also give me time to just kind of take a step back from wrestling and take a breath and just kind of skip a few weeks and just watch and see what happens when I get back. I am kind of excited listening to it and waiting for it to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really excited to have that little girl. Right. Who else is in the chat room tonight? We got Randy M. Listening to Meltzer and Brian Alvarez report the main event was amazing. Oh, you should listen to me. Definitely. Yes, definitely from Mr. Andrew Elder. Nafi Sadat. I did feel like I wasted 3 hours of my life. Thank you, Mike. And Victoria will be dropped by the chat, everybody. Mashoon Walls. Good Monday evening, peeps. I like that. Graham Koskin. Crips in the chat room. Hey, Mike. Sweet Lou in the chat room. Jake. Reitnor, I think. Sounds spooky. Ooh, I like that. I don't know what sounds spooky, but something. Grash is in. WWE Stop Motion. What? Everybody. Oh, we got a pretty good lively chat. And Quentin Walters is here. He will catch the replay soon, so we'll see him. Gold Steel X. Do you think you can pull off a Money in the Bank DQ or Elimination Chamber DQ? Oh, they can do anything now, Gold. They can do anything. There's no limits to the amount of gimmicks that they can kill in this company. There's none. Absolutely no gimmicks at all that are safe from the booking, from being McMahonized, from being Vinced. Everything must be overthought now. Jerome Willen. if I was USA Network, I would be asking for a refund. What garbage. The Lashley, Lana, and Rusev stuff is junk. Blah. Jerome, the best news recapper in wrestling media, but he has my vote for that, is 100% right. Yeah, like, this is the best that they have. And, okay, so let's talk about this. We got the draft coming up. Like, they've made no bones about it. Like, they are actually on USA Network, who spent a lot of money to keep Raw. They spent a lot of money to keep Raw. SmackDown got the $1 billion deal from Fox. I believe Raw got somewhere close to $1 billion for it. I think it was like $750 million. Once you get that far, and you might as well just start rounding up. They are on this channel, on USA Network, talking about how Fox is better and USA Network is essentially like needing to get a good roster to keep people watching the show. It was like a really weird thing that was happening. Like they at no point were they saying like any main eventers were coming on the show. Like they were like saying, oh, we need to draft Alistair Black high, for Raw. We need to draft Apollo Cruz really high. The Bollywood boys need to be drafted high on this show. That's who they were talking about. It's almost like they're warming you up for the complete disappearance of any credible, sane roster for this show. And it's staying at 3 hours. SmackDown is going to absolutely be one of the best, like obviously the best show in WWE, simply because they have an advantage. Anyway, number one, they're seen in more houses in the USA. It's on Channel 5, so it's just going to be there. People flipping through the channels. A lot of people flip through the lower channels and they'll just land on SmackDown and see it. It is what it is, But they also have an advantage because they're 2 hours long. Can you imagine how this show is going to be without any like real main eventers, like legit main eventers, other than I guess Seth Rollins, who they killed good and dead last night with the Hell in the Cell booking? I don't care what anybody says. 24 hours removed from that debacle has not changed my mind whatsoever. In fact, it's reaffirmed every single thing I said last night about what a disaster that main event was. They were so worried about getting any type of negative reaction. They are trying to like Billy Hefner texted me and said it was funny, also kind of true, that this Hell in a Cell should be buried in a vault with the 12-year career of, or the last 12 years of Crispin, with the last 12 years Crispin Benoit's been gone. Like this Hell in a Cell should be in the vault with there, never to be seen again, never to be advertised, never to be looked at ever again. It was that much of a disaster that it should just never be talked about again. They did mention it. They waited about 2.5 hours before they even brought it up. And they buried it after a pointless Ricochet match against Apollo Cruz. I believe that's where they put it. Let me go scroll down and see if I am correct about that. Yep. They buried it after Ricochet and Apollo Cruz, a match that no one could have possibly cared about, including the people in the match. They looked so bored. And they just went through the motions. It was just a big nothing burger. The whole show was a nothing burger. This whole entire show is about getting us to the draft, and it just so happens we have to fill up 3 hours. It was really weird. It just felt like a house show at times, just doing matches for the sake of matches, segments that just go on forever. They had the one thing that might be worth watching with Tyson Fury, but by the time it came, it was already 2 hours and 50 minutes into the show, and it's just like hard to care at that point. If anybody's even still watching, you're so beaten down by it. It's like, whew. Meanwhile, you have a good Monday Night Football game going on. You got baseball playoffs going on. I put out in a tweet halfway through the show. I said, don't just stop watching. I'll take the pain. That's my job. I will watch it, read the recap, go about your life, enjoy. Don't spend any more time watching this show, especially right now. It's just brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Monday Night Football game wasn't that great, but man, Jerome, I think WWE needs to invest in more tarps to cover more empty seats. It's heading that way. It's heading that way. You know, like I've been seeing a lot of like hot takes and reactions on the internet today, and following this debacle that was the Hell in a Cell main event, and it's like, oh well, you know, they got to build a new audience and this and that. You know, they got to try some things. It's like, you know what? They have spent so much time pissing off their actual longtime fans. It's like, yeah, you better you better try to start building a new crowd because they're dropping off in droves. They are. I mean, the numbers, every metric that matters says they're losing them. Yeah, they do great in the 18 to 49. They really do well in the 50 and over. But this show is like geared toward like people with no common sense whatsoever. 5-year-olds, essentially 5-year-olds, because they can think, but they don't really remember things. It's just like, you know, you need to be a 5-year-old to watch the show to think it's any good. But no 5-year-olds watch. Like I wouldn't let my kid watch this show. Like not at that age. It's every discernible metric shows that they are dropping off. And these TV deals were signed a year and a half ago, when numbers were still good. They were still averaging about over 3 million for Raw or so, or in the high 2 millions, you know, 2.9, 2.8 million average on just a regular crummy show. So it makes sense. We should definitely sign them for, you know, $1 billion or whatever it is. We should keep them on this channel because, number one, USA Network has hardly any original programming that's worth watching. Ever since Monk and Psych have left, like they've had nothing. They have the Chrisleys, which it's a guilty pleasure. I like it, but again, that's not going to drive in people. So Raw's the show that really keeps people watching this channel. And Fox obviously saw some value in SmackDown. They signed it to $1 billion because they want to fix their Friday night lineup, and they think, you know, adding something that's going to be on 52 weeks a year that is sort of pseudo sports, maybe they can get people watching it. And hey, you know what? That show was a huge success. Almost 4 million people watched that show. We'll see the true numbers, the real numbers tomorrow, but you know, the Fast Nationals, a lot of people watch that show. Will they follow through next week? Sure, absolutely, for the WWE Draft, but it's in a month. It's in a month that I really want to see how they do. I lost my train of thought there. What I was going to say, but yeah. They think it's worth spending $1 billion on these shows. That was a year ago, and we had to sit through another bad fall last year and another lackluster WrestleMania season. And honestly, they've just been phoning it in since then. And the audience has been chipping off. USA Network has been directly responsible for the WWE 24/7 Championship because they thought that would increase ratings. They've been sending WWE ideas to increase ratings because they're not happy with the ratings. So they did that. Didn't work. It never was going to work. They did Raw Reunion to get a big boost and try to get people watching for, you know, next week. It lasted a week. It was a week bump, and then that was it. They bring Steve Austin back from the Madison Square Garden shows to sell tickets. I mean, like, to Madison Square Garden, for God's sake, really? You need help selling tickets to that. It's WWE's home. They haven't been there in over 10 years for a television taping, and they needed help selling those tickets. Like, these deals are done. WWE will make almost $2 billion in the next 5 years from these TV deals. But the question is, if they keep going the way they're going, spitting in the face of their fans, false advertising things, like even for tonight, I mean, yeah, did anybody really want to see Rusev versus Randy Orton tonight? Probably not. Or maybe you did. Maybe it would have just been a good match just to kick off the show. Well, they said that was going to kick off the show. and they just had the show opens up. Orton and Baron Corbin are attacking Rusev. Seth Rollins, who's Rusev's team captain, nowhere to be seen because he's a jerk. No match. False advertised. They advertised Sting, Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Trish Stratus, a whole bunch of people for SmackDown's 20th anniversary. None of them show up. Granted, again, great show. It was a really great show, but people that bought tickets at the Staples Center, because that was the first thing they advertised, was, other than it being the debut on Fox, was the 20th anniversary and seeing all these legends. Nothing. Undertaker posted on Twitter. Somebody goes, "Why weren't you on SmackDown?" He just tweeted back, "I was told I wasn't needed." Like, false advertising. Like how many times are you going to spit in the face of your fans, of your loyal fans that lay down their money and expect to keep them? What's the TV deal going to look like 5 years from now? Because they're going to have to start renegotiating around 3.5 years. Will Fox want them back if they keep dropping off? Will USA want them back? Probably USA will want them back. But the way things are going right now, Fox is a one and done TV deal. And I think SmackDown's back to Fox, or they try to save face and wind up on like Channel 9 again. Or Pix 11 or something like that. You save face, stay on network. But debacles like Hell in a Cell, trying to cover it up afterward and not, and just no follow-up for it. Just brutal. Just really, really crappy. Just brutal. Anyway, and this show, again, just brutal. Like, I feel bad for anybody that paid their hard-earned money in Bakersfield. It's like, yeah, like, well, we got your money. Here's a show. You don't like it? Screw you. We got your money. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Victoria's in the chat room tonight. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm here. I'm just eating while listening. Baby Tedesco is taking her time. She's waiting for her daddy. Yes. I'm going to go see my little girl. She's down in Philadelphia right now. I will go see that little girl sometime this week. I will get down there. I can't wait. Can't wait. I'll be a dad this time next week. It's going to be crazy. Or maybe not this time exactly, but at some point in a week, I will be a dad. It's going to be amazing. Could be earlier. You never know. I'm really like rooting for Saturday or something like that. Would be great. Okay. Let's get into this show. There's really not much to talk about. Let's talk about Nick Fury, who showed up on SmackDown and got in a little altercation with Braun Strowman. They said that he was going to have an open mic. Well, they didn't. Like Nick Fury, who, if you see any of his stuff, is a really, really great talker. They didn't let him say hardly anything on the show other than, hey, Bakersfield, whoop-dee-dee. It was just a big nothing. They had Braun Strowman come out. Strowman tackled him to the corner, and they just had a brawl where the heavyweight champion of the world was throwing punches and just nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. It was a good brawl. It was a good brawl. Like, these brawls always work. To pull apart, send the security out. Security gets knocked out. Send the superstars out. Try to keep them separated. They keep breaking out. The brawl keeps happening. It usually works. When they did it with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar a couple years ago, was it 2015, I think, before SummerSlam that year? It was like the hottest thing that summer. And they kept doing it. They do it every now and then, but every time they do it again and again and again, it gets diminishing returns, because it's just been, it's like, sometimes when it's warranted, like Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, you have the streak, you have this whole storyline, you have actual bad blood between them. Yeah, people are excited for that brawl. You get a brawl between the women this year. Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and that crazy brawl before WrestleMania. Yeah, like, that's really good, because people have been wanting to see that match, and it's a great brawl. They've also, I believe they've also done brawls. I'm trying to think. I think actually they did a brawl with Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar that wasn't really that great, because it's like, is there really that much bad blood there that there needs to be a brawl like that? Like Nick Fury and Strowman, he threw Dolph Ziggler at him. Like, is it really that necessary to have the giant brawl? and throwing bad worked punches. I don't know. I might be nitpicking, but it was 2 hours and 50 minutes into the show, and it was like, I don't know. It wasn't enough to save the show or make me feel like the 2 hours and 50 minutes prior to that were worth it to get to this. It was better than the Hell in a Cell main event, I'll tell you that. It was definitely better than that. So there's that. James Lasseren's in the chat room tonight. All right. Yeah, we got a lively chat going on here. Tyson. What did I say? I keep saying Nick Fury, right? Am I saying Nick Fury? Oh my God! See, so that's how burned out I am. I keep thinking he's Nick Fury. It's Tyson Fury. Although Samuel L. Jackson absolutely would have been amazing in this brawl. Actually, that would have saved the show. That if Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury was in this brawl, that would have made the 2 hours and 50 minutes totally worth it. That would have made it worth it. But Tyson Fury, where they don't let him talk. He's got good promo skills. The heavyweight champion of the world. You know, it's just, I don't know. It didn't do it for me, and especially because I really have that icky, gross feeling that this is just all a setup just to have this match in Saudi Arabia for absolutely nobody to see. So now they're gonna have all this build and waste all this time on Raw and waste everybody's time for a match that no one's gonna see. Kind of like Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez. It's like, yeah, I would like to see that match. I'm not going out of my way to watch a show from Saudi Arabia at 1 p.m. That's for sure. So, although I'll probably wind up recapping it, you never know. But it's Halloween. It's gonna be my little girl's first Halloween. I don't know. I don't think I would want to recap that match or care about missing it. I don't. All right. So, like I said, Orton. The show opens up with Randy Orton and King Corbin attacking Rusev to cancel out the match that they were hoping to have with Rusev and Randy Orton. And all of a sudden, Bobby Lashley appears on the Titantron, says Rusev looks like he's not having any fun, and is wearing Rusev's robe. He's in his room. He gets in bed. Then Lana shows up. Lana takes off her robe. She's wearing pink lingerie. Gets in bed. Says that the joint accounts are just in her name. Everything's in her name. And she takes off her bra and gets in bed with Lashley. And Lashley turns the lights out, even though the cameras are still there. It's not enough. We can't just have one cuck in WWE. Mike Kanellis isn't enough because that storyline was so great. We can't just have one cuck. We have to have two. Rusev. That's going to turn things around. That's it. They figured it out. They got it. They have the secret sauce. They killed the Fiend. Good. Who needs him? Who needs a character that makes you think and gets you excited about seeing? Who needs that? We got Rusev the cuck. We got Rusev with his little Freddie Mercury mustache being a cuck. Oh, wow. How exciting. Wow. I can't wait to tune in next week and see what happens with the cuck. The freaking nerd, the loser, Rusev. What a great return. Happy to be an American yet? I'd rather get shipped back to Bulgaria. It's just, these are like those gimmick, those absolute character killing. Not even just, not even for a little bit. Like, this is that kind of storyline just kills you dead. You're never the same after a storyline like this. And using someone's real wife in a storyline like this always turns out bad. Wrestling history shows that. I saw a tweet from Lance Storm last week where he goes, I once had a chat with Macho Man Savage, and he warned me never to do a storyline with my wife. Because he said he did a storyline with his wife once, and I ain't got no wife no more. Same thing happened to Mongo McMichael and Deborah Marshall. Chris and Nancy Kevin Sullivan and Nancy Sullivan, who later became Nancy Benoit, which actually turned out to be an extremely unfortunate thing. There's a precedent here. It's not good. It's definitely not good to involve significant others in storylines, positioning them against each other. I fear for Rusev and Lana's marriage in real life, literally. Anything for money, though, I guess. You're on TV. But, I mean, like, and here's another thing. They have Rusev crying in the ring, getting teary-eyed, misty-eyed. Yeah, of course, my wife's making out with somebody in front of my face, and I'm a total cuck accepting it, not doing anything about it. Yeah, I guess I would, just to complete the cuckdom, I would get teary-eyed and cry, too. But is this the best way that we can build baby faces on this show? Seth Rollins crying last night before, oh God, I'm going to hit the Fiend with a sledgehammer. Even though he hit me with one this big, I'm going to hit him with one this big and I have to cry about it because I'm a face. That's the way you want to build a baby face in 2019. I'm supposed to care. I'm supposed to be into Rusev now. He's crying on a wrestling show. No. Nope. Whole big bowl of no. And Rusev decides to try not to act like a complete and total cuck and attacks Orton and Corbin after, but he's still a cuck. Sucks. It sucks. The whole thing is just a whole bunch of suck. Andrew asking, isn't Bobby still married to Crystal? No, he is not. That marriage ended a while ago. He is married, though. I would watch out for that marriage. I'm just going through this show because there's no big hits. There's nothing big about the show other than the Tyson Fury. Yes, it's Tyson Fury, not Nick Fury. Thank you for saving me from looking like a complete fool by saying that for the rest of the night. Last woman standing, Lacey Evans versus Natalya. Now, despite being told last Monday on Raw that this was the last time for Natalya and Lacey Evans to have a match, they went and had a match on Sunday on the kickoff show where Natalya beat her clean with a sharpshooter and then laid Lacey Evans out after the match, and now we have to have a last woman standing match. This match, they just did stuff. It was just like, okay, one move, wait 9 seconds. One move, wait 9 seconds. This proves to me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that, well, we know Lacey Evans is green behind the ears, of course, but that Natalya is not that good of a wrestler. She can't carry a match. She can't lay out a good match. She's supposed to be the veteran in the ring, carrying Lacey Evans. They both need to be carried in this one. Whoever laid out this match, and if it was Natalya helping to lay out the match, bad. Very, very bad. They did a whole bunch of stuff, including like right at the beginning, Natalya suplexes her on the floor, kicks her in the ribs, but Evans, who takes a suplex on the floor and gets kicked in the ribs, doesn't even get counted down by the referee. She's up immediately. She gets her and she knocks gets Natalya down. Natalya applies a sharpshooter, locks it in. Still, the referee doesn't count her down, even though she just got locked into submission. Smashed her face off the mat and talks some trash. And then Evans pulls her down by the hair. And Natalya's down for 9 seconds. Just that's the first countdown of the match. So, Evans, to recap, Evans got suplexed on the floor, kicked in the ribs, put in the sharpshooter, had her face slammed off the mat. Natalya gets pulled down by her hair. She's the one who gets the 9-second count. What can you say there? And then they just went around doing stuff, and Natalya just kept getting counted down all the way up to 9, to the point where it just wasn't even exciting to watch her get up anymore, because it always went to 9, and Natalya always got back up. And, look at me, I can act and emote, because, it was bad. It was bad. Finally, Natalya just power bombs her off the stage, and that's how it ends. So, hopefully that's the end of it. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw this match again. I hope not, though. Okay, moving on. We have Alistair Black backstage. So he hasn't been seen in quite some time. Now he's backstage just waiting for somebody to knock on the door. Street Profits are somewhere backstage. They talk about SmackDown saying goodbye to the USA Network. Yeah, say goodbye to that loser network and premiering on Fox. They're on the USA Network. You're on the USA Network. You can't make it seem like another channel is an upgrade over the network that you're currently airing on. That's a no-no. That's stupid. Like, I get it. Like, they're trying to say, like, you know, for the WWE Draft, that the network executives of USA and Fox are in a war room trying to look at the rosters and try to get the best roster for their channel. Are they really trying to say, like, you know, they want to get the best roster because they know that when they split the rosters, the ratings are going to go down just like they did earlier this year? That's a weird way to advertise something and build up goodwill with your cable providers. Viking Raiders versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I was convinced this entire match, after watching what they did with the Fiend last night, that the Viking Raiders were going to lose clean to Ziggler and Roode, but mercifully, the Viking Raiders won, and Dio Madden, who, again, granted is extremely green, he's only been commentating for a month and a half, said, oh, maybe they'll be in line for future tag team title shots. Like, you beat the champions, you're the number one contenders. That's just how it works. That's how any sport would work it. It's just like they make the commentators seem so bad. But the commentators were really, really bad tonight. Distractingly so in certain points. Vic Joseph, like right at the beginning of the show, had marbles in his mouth, couldn't remember like certain people's names throughout the night. Jerry Lawler was stuttering over his words. Dio Madden was just like there. Jerry Lawler kept calling Dio Madden D-Lo. I guess he thought he was D-Lo Brown for a second. Granted, like they need to have some time to gel and mesh, but Vic Joseph right now is just like Michael Cole light. Dio Madden is just like a little more talented version of David Otunga, and Jerry Lawler is just like, he's just there. He's just there right now. He's probably the best. He's the best one that they got, which means that they're probably not going to use him for all that long, but he's the best they got, and he's 70 years old. Suffered stroke, heart attack, not really the healthiest guy on the face of the planet. So that's what they got. Viking Raiders win. Later on, they challenge Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the Raw Tag Team titles on Raw next week. But how do they even know that they'll still be a tag team? What if they get separated in the WWE Draft on Friday at that point? Why would they? Nobody explains anything. Okay, Alistair Black is heading to the ring to see who wants to pick a fight with him, and it winds up being the Bollywood Boys. Whatever. It's just a squash match, but Jesus, the Bollywood Boys. There was nobody else to squash backstage. We had to bring out the Bollywood Boys to make you just feel embarrassed to watch wrestling. Alistair Black beats him by submission. Dragon Sleeper, not much there. They spent a whole entire segment recapping SmackDown again, which is fine because SmackDown is the big show, which is good. They should be. They're the $1 billion brand. Rey Mysterio says that Cain Velasquez is the only man that Brock Lesnar fears. OC versus Lucha House Party, and this is where I just absolutely stopped caring about the show. I turned it off. I had no interest whatsoever in seeing it. I knew the OC were going to win. I knew they were going to annihilate the Lucha House Party afterwards because the OC got annihilated last night, so they got to get their steam back. I didn't need to watch it. I actually literally wrote that the OC won by pinfall with the match not even being over yet. I just turned on the Yankee game for a little bit just to watch what they were doing. And then I turned it back on and I see AJ Styles hit somebody off the second rope with a Styles Clash. And I asked Billy Hefner to fill me in on the rest. And that's that. That's how predictable that was. Brutal. That sucked. I hate the Lucha House Party. I hate the OC is doing nothing for me right now. Everything is just there. It's like you almost hope they get broken up again. because it's not doing anybody any favors to be together. And everybody thought it was going to be good, but WWE booking. Miz in the ring for Miz TV. Puts over Friday Night SmackDown and all the celebrities that showed up, like The Rock, Cain Velasquez, and Tyson Fury. Then introduces Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Mentions that they're dominant. And then Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair get into the most contrived back and forth that you'll ever hear. And then the Kabuki Warriors just come out talking Japanese, and the brawl breaks out. Tag team match, Kabuki Warriors beat Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair after Asuka spits green mist in Becky Lynch's face, and Kairi Sane rolls up Lynch for the win. Yeah, so Asians, green mist, heel. Got it. Good booking, Vince. Good booking. All right. Just pure laziness. Pure laziness. Ricochet versus Apollo Cruz. Nobody cared, even the competitors. Ricochet wins with a recoil. That's that. They show the embarrassing, hideous main event after this with Seth Rollins and the Fiend, and even WWE's video magic producers, who are like, they are so damn good. They are so damn good. Couldn't even make this main event last night look any better than it did. It was that bad. There's nothing that the production crew could do to save it. So that's Raw. That was Raw. Tyson Fury. What is Raw going to look like after the draft? Obviously, Lesnar is going to be the WWE champion on SmackDown. Eventually, Roman Reigns will beat him again at WrestleMania for the title. I am sure of it. If it's not WrestleMania, it'll be like Royal Rumble, but I can't imagine it not being WrestleMania. Lesnar versus Reigns again at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins will definitely be staying on Raw. They tweeted out and then they took it away. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend at Survivor Series. So the next time they want you to see it. So they gave it to you on October 6th and it was garbage. They're hoping that almost 2 months of not seeing it again will make you want to see that match again. They're hoping that it'll take they think it'll take about 2 months to remove the stink of that Hell in a Cell match. So you would want to see Seth Rollins and The Fiend again. Would anybody really want to see it? Ooh, I don't know. We'll see. Survivor Series. Can't wait. Can't be any worse. The one thing they got to do, like if they're gonna give you a match and have Wyatt go over, number one thing that's got to go is that red lighting. That was really bad. That was really bad. Yeah, Randy M even saying was told the crowd couldn't see the match at all. I saw as much from people on Twitter. Is that it was like number one that the cell was red, the red lights. It's like almost impossible to see anything. And like I honestly I would feel ripped off, and I don't blame them at all for chanting refund. I know sometimes like I poke fun at like some crowds, but it's like, you know, they had every right to be pissed about that. They had every right. Well, let me check the Twitter poll. What did everybody think of the show? In the chat room, give me your thumbs up, thumbs down. Whoa. It's one of those Raws. It's one of those all-time 93% thumbs down for the Raw tonight. It's not as bad as the Raw where Dean Ambrose got the inoculations in the veterinarian's office. It's not even close, but this right now is trending towards one of the worst all-time Raws since we've started doing these polls. That Raw with Dean Ambrose getting the needles in his butt by the vet got 96% thumbs down. Like that's and it was like a lot of people. I'm curious to see where that vote ends up. Chat room, oh god, yeah. Resounding thumbs down. Andrew Elder, 7% are morons, not sorry. Got to agree. Billy Hefner, way down. Victoria, didn't get to watch yet. I'll let you know what I thought when I do. Victoria, you will go into early labor if you watch this show. There's no way around it. So when I get down, we'll turn on this Raw, And by the end of it, we'll have a little baby girl because it will stress your body that much. Nafis, only 96% for the ass injection. Yeah, I know. Like, you would think it'd be like a full, complete 100%. I'm really concerned for the 4% of the people that actually gave that show a thumbs up. Really concerned for them. Scary. Needles in his butt. Oh man, must have been a doozy. Didn't watch that either. James, you didn't miss anything, buddy. You did not miss anything, good buddy. All right. Well, I'm going to start to wrap this up. I don't know when I'll be back. I can assure you I'll be back probably, I would say before the end of the month. But I don't know whether I'll be back. It's definitely not going to be next week, and I don't know if it'll be the week after either. I will keep you in the loop as to what happens. Even if I get home, I might do a Raw recap, but I don't know if we'll be ready yet to do a Raw recap just because we're adjusting to life with the baby. I'll let you know. But I want to personally thank everybody in the chat room that's followed along with us for this entire journey since we announced we were pregnant to this very second. You know, like every now and then I'll pop into Doug's show and I'll see people talking positively about the baby, calling her Princess Tedesco, Nafis Sadat, Quentin Walters, especially Billy Hefner. You know, James in the chat room again, you know, for what you guys are planning to do for the Crimbus Craptacular this year, you know, donations and stuff like that. We can't thank you enough. And it's not being over exaggerated when I say me and Victoria really do love doing the Post Raw show. We love coming on every week and chatting with you, talking about Raw, even if Raw is bad. I had a lot of fun talking about it. It's cathartic for me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. You know, it's definitely therapeutic for me to kind of talk about it. But it's also just fun to interact with all of you because you guys are so great. Everybody's so great in the chat room. It's a lively bunch every week. It's a loyal bunch, and we thank you. And this show wouldn't be anything without you guys watching along. So we thank you for the support. Next time you see me, I will be a father. I have one more recap in me with the NXT show this Wednesday, and I'm checking out for the next few weeks on wrestling recaps, and I am damn excited about that. So on that note, excited to be a dad. I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com. Thank you everybody so much, and I'll see you when I reach parenthood. Take care.